Okay, guys, here we go with another lesson. Unit 6, Lesson 4, practice solving equations and representing situations with equations. So this is a super important part of math, and we are going to really hit algebra hard in the next, coming months and years until you guys hit the high school. So let's dive right in. 4.1, number talk subtracting from 5. Okay, so this should be super fast, super easy. This is 3. 2.9, 2.83, and 2 and an eighth. Okay? If you need to write these ones out, that's okay. These two you should be able to do in your head by now. Okay? Okay, so we're going to solve a ton of equations right now. Okay, and basically we're going to prove, unfortunately we can't do this with partners, otherwise I would. Okay? We're going to prove that column A and column B are in fact saying the same thing. Okay? So what I'm going to do is solve all of these out. I'm probably going to have to clear my screen. I will tell you that I'm going to clear it so you can pause it and write down anything that you need to, and then I'll clear it for the next one. Okay? So here goes. 18 equals 2x, and 36 equals 4x. Okay? So to get x by itself, okay, to get this x by itself, you need to divide by 2. Okay? So when something is held, so we have those terms, right, that you saw. When your term, your x, is held by multiplication, you need to use division or the opposite to get rid of it. Okay? So those cancel out. You're going to get x equals 9. Okay? Same thing with this one. Divide by 4. Divide by 4. X equals 9. Okay? So they're held by multiplication. Held by multiplication. So you need to use division. Okay? So number 2, 17 equals x plus 9. And 13 equals x plus 5. Okay, so here we go. Now, the x term in both of these is held by addition. Okay, so what is the opposite of addition? It's subtraction. So to get this number to the other side, you need to subtract 9, subtract 9. 17 minus 9 is 8, and you get x equals 8. Okay? Same thing on the next one. It is held by addition, so you need to use subtraction. Minus 5, minus 5. 13 minus 5 is 8, and you get x equals 8. Okay, go ahead and pause it if you need to. I'm going to erase. Okay. Number 3, 8x equals 56. 3x equals 21. Okay, so here we are again with those x terms being held by multiplication. Okay, so you're going to divide because it's the opposite of multiplication, and you're going to get x equals 7. Okay, same thing here. Got to get x by itself. Divide by 3, divide by 3, x also equals 7. Okay, pause if you need to. Okay, next one, 21 equals 1/4 x, and 28 equals 1/3 x. Okay, I know they're fractions. Jillian, they're not that scary. You got this. Okay, so this is held, again, by multiplication. So you're going to divide by 1/4, divide by 1/4. You guys know how to do this math, so I'm not going to actually do it for you, but it's going to come out to be x equals 84. Same with this. The x is held by multiplication, so you need to divide by 1/3 to get x by itself. 28 divided by 1/3 is actually 84 as well. Okay, so both of your answers are 84. Remember how to do your fractions, keep, change, flip. You guys know how to do that. Okay, pause if you need to. Okay, 6x equals 45. 8x equals 60. Okay, same thing. Here we go again. Held by multiplication, so you got to divide. Okay, you can do that math, right? So x equals 7.5. Next problem is the same. It is held by multiplication, so you need to divide by 8. Divide by 8. X is also going to equal 7.5. Okay, pause if you need to write that down. Gonna erase. So all of the equations that we're going to be doing are one-step equations right now, okay? All you're going to be doing is getting one term to the other side by multiplication, division, subtraction, or addition, okay? So our first one, x plus 4 and 5, 6 equals 9. X plus 3 and 5, 6 equals 8, okay? So now, here we are again. We are held by addition, so we need to subtract this whole term to the other side, okay? So minus 4 and 5/6 x, or just minus 4 and 5/6, excuse me, minus 4 and 5/6 x is going to give you 4 and 1/6. Super important that you're writing every step out, because as these get more complicated, you're going to want to go back and check your work, okay? So same thing here. Subtract 3 and 5/6 from both sides of the equation, and you're going to get x equals 4 and 1/6. Okay? Pause if you need to. Gonna erase. Okay. Another fraction. 5/7 x equals 55, and 3/7 x equals 33. Okay. We're back to multiplication. So you need to divide by 5/7, divide by 5/7. Okay, so that's going to say that's 55 over 1, right? Divided by 5/7. Just as a reminder, keep, change, flip. And that's how you get your answer. You guys know how to do that, okay? So x then is going to equal 77. Okay. Same with this. Divide by 3/7, divide by 3/7. X also equals 77. 33 over 1 divided by 3/7. Okay. If you're still having trouble with the fraction part, get a hold of me. We can Zoom and work on it. This is a good time to do that. Which one are we on? We are on this one. Okay. So 1/5 equals 6x, and 1/3 equals 10x. Okay, so now the x is held by multiplication again. Divide by 6, divide by 6. 1/5 divided by 6 over 1 equals x. X is going to equal 1/30. Same with this one. Divide by 10, divide by 10, x equals 1/30. Okay, this one's pretty easy to see the answer to. Go ahead and pause if you need to. Okay, here's some decimals for those of you that like decimals. So 2.17 plus x equals 5, okay? And 6.17 plus x equals 9, okay? So we're back to addition. So that means that you're going to use subtraction, okay? So you're going to subtract 2.17 from both sides. X equals, if you need to write it out, 5.00 minus 2.17. x is going to equal 2.83. Okay? Same on this side, held by addition. So there's an addition sign, an invisible addition sign out in front of these numbers, right? Because they're positive. So you're going to subtract 6.17, subtract 6.17, and x again is going to equal 2.83. Okay? Go ahead and pause. Okay. 20 thirds equals 10 ninths x. Okay, we're back to multiplication and division. So that means that you're going to divide by 10 ninths. Again, 23rd divided by 10 ninths equals x. X is actually going to equal 6. Okay. Second part of that is 14/5 equals 7/15 x. Okay. Here we go again. Divide by 7/15, divide by 7/15, x equals 6. Okay, this should be pretty simple by now. Okay, that should just be, we did a whole unit on multiplying and dividing fractions. Okay, so pause if you need to. Okay, 14.88 plus x equals 17.05, and 3.91 plus x equals 6.08. Okay, so we are back to addition. Okay, remember you have your secret little positive sign out there, so we're going to subtract 14.88 from both sides, and x is going to give you 2.17. Same thing here, addition sign out front. Subtract 3.91, subtract 3.91. You're going to get x equals 2.17. Okay? Pause if you need to. Okay. Last one on the columns. So 3 3/4 x equals 1 1/4. 7/5 x equals 7/15. Okay? So now we are back to multiplication. So we're going to divide 3 3/4 from both sides. This math you can do. So x is going to equal 1/3. Divide by 7/5, divide by 7/5. X is going to also equal 1/3. Okay? So if you guys need to work through these to prove the math to yourself, please do. If you have questions, get a hold of me. Okay? Okay. So 4.3, choosing equations to match situations. Okay, so it's telling you to circle all of the equations that describe the situation. Okay, so this is a super, super important skill. Being able to figure out what a word problem is saying, okay, using keywords. So number one, oh, and then it asks you to find the solution. So number one says Claire has 8 fewer. Okay, I'll get my highlighter out here. And this is a good strategy for these kind of problems, is to highlight keywords. So fewer books than my. If my has 26 books, how many books does Claire have? Okay, so this is saying less than or fewer. So our first, so 26 is how many books my has, and 8 is how many Claire has. Okay, so our first equation could be 26, which is how many my has. X, we don't know how many that is, right? And you're going to have 8, okay? Another solution could be x plus 8 equals 26. And our last solution is 26 minus 8 equals x. So this is not a solution because it's going to give you, this is saying more than, okay? So let's solve this one out. 26 minus x equals 8. Okay. Minus 26, minus 26. So you're going to get negative x equals negative 18. Can you have a negative number of books? You can't. But the beautiful thing is there's a negative in front of both of those numbers, so they go away because it's basically the same thing as saying dividing by -1, divide by -1, x equals 18. Okay? Let's solve this one. X plus 8 equals 26. Okay, well, we know that it's held by addition, so you need to subtract 8. X equals 18. Okay, and our last one, 26 minus 8 equals x. Well, this is already kind of really solved for you, so all you have to do is say x equals 18. Okay? So now number 2. A coach formed teams of 8 from all the players in the soccer league. There are teams of 14. How many players are in each league? So when you have questions like this, okay, where you have a certain number of things and then another group of things that's going into that certain number of things, you're always going to have division, okay? So think about this one for a second. Which one of these shows that situation, okay? So this obviously wouldn't, because if you divided 14 by 8, you're only going to get 2, okay? And there are more than 8 players and there are more than 2 teams, okay? So the second one, y divided by 8 equals 14. So the question is asking how many players are in each league. So this would make sense because if you have 8 players in each league and there are 14 of them, you need to know the number of players. So this is an answer. This is saying the same thing as the second one. Okay, so you can multiply by 1/8 because that is how many players you're going to have. And then this one is also true, as you'll see when you solve the other two, because you know that there are 14 teams, and if there are 8 players on each of those teams, you multiply those two numbers together, get your total number of players. This is the easiest way to do it, right? So y equals 14 times 8, and your answer is going to be 112. So all of these are going to give you 112 if you solve for y. Okay? So number 3, Kieran scored 223 more. Okay, so already you're thinking what? You're thinking subtraction because it's more in a computer game than Tyler. If Kieran scored 490, so there's your total, okay? How many points did Tyler score? Okay, so here's your total, more. So right off the bat, we don't know if this one's going to work or not, okay? This would be the easiest way to write this, and this is, if you were reading the problem straight across, this is how you would write it, okay? This one wouldn't work because we know that this one is correct, okay? And this one's the opposite, and that's not going to give you the same answer, okay? And then if you solve all of these equations out, you're going to see that this actually is the correct answer. So let's solve the first one. 223 equals 409 minus z. Okay, so here we're going to get into that situation again where you have 2 negatives. So you're going to subtract 409, subtract 409. So you're negative 186 equals negative z. Again, you can't have 2 negatives, right? So you're going to basically divide by -1, divide by -1, and z is going to equal 186. Okay? So if you say 409 minus 223 equals z, you'll see that z also equals 186. And then I'm going to erase real quick to do the last one. So 409 equals 223 plus z. Okay, so this one, your z is held by addition. So you need to subtract 223 from both sides. And z is going to equal 186. Okay? So we have one more of these, I think. Yep. Okay, one more of these. So Mai ran 27 miles last week. Okay, so there's your total. 27 is your total. And as you're reading, these kind of problems, this is how you're going to want to read them. Which was 3 times as far as Jada. So this tells you 3 times 3x. Okay, they're using the term W. Totally fine, doesn't matter. So this is your first equation that's going to match because it literally read that way in the problem. And those are the easiest ones to look for. Okay, so for this one, 3w equals 27. It's held by multiplication. So you divide. W equals 9. Okay, so we know our answer is 9. But now can you see that dividing by 3, which we know dividing by 3 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/3. Therefore, that is going to be an answer as well. And then if you look at this one, which is also obviously an answer, it is the same thing as this one when you solve it out. Okay, so the important thing is that you're seeing different ways to solve the equation. Really, I don't care how you get to these answers, just get there the way that your brain works, okay? So that's it for this lesson. Instead of doing the Google Slides, which was super confusing for some people, your homework that's going to be due Friday with your other homework is going to be in a quiz where you're just going to select multiple choice. It's obviously not a quiz. That's just the only format that Google has for me. That should be a lot easier for you guys. Again, if you have any questions, you guys have been really good about getting a hold of me and getting your work in. So hope you guys are doing well. Can't wait to see you. Bye.